and today's the day that I'm going to retire.
BYU men's basketball head coach Dave Rose retires.
Men's basketball forward Yoli Childs declares for the NBA draft.
Former BYU athletes lace up one last time for a chance to play in the NFL.
I'm Michaela Hewardine.
And I'm Lindsay Peterson, and it's time for Sportsline.
This past week was a little bit emotional with Dave Rose stepping down. I don't know, I watched the press conference, I got a little teary-eyed myself. What about you, Lindsay?
Yeah, it was sad. It's kind of weird because he's the coach that, I grew up watching. That's BYU basketball, but it is the end of an era. BYU men's basketball head coach Dave Rose is retiring.
Sportsline reporter Lindsay Carroll was at the press conference and has more on the legacy he's leaving behind.
Here at BYU, Dave Rose has been coaching for longer than many students have even been alive. And after 22 years, he's hanging up his coaching hat.
36 years I've been doing this. 22 at BYU. 14 as the head coach. And today's the day that I'm going to retire.
Families, friends, players, and supporters gathered together on Tuesday afternoon as Coach Dave Rose announced his retirement as BYU men's basketball head coach. Rose began his BYU career as an assistant coach in 1997 and then took over as head coach for the 2005-2006 season, where he took a struggling program and immediately turned it around. Among his many accolades, Rose was three-time Conference Coach of the Year, won 4 conference titles, and led the Cougars to 5 NIT tournaments and 8 NCAA tournaments. Jimmer Fredette, one of Rose's standout players and recent Phoenix Suns signee, took to social media to show his appreciation for his former coach, saying, "He pushed me to be the best player I could possibly be." During his 14 years as head coach, Rose recorded 348 victories, 8 NCAA tournament appearances, 13 consecutive 20-win seasons, and leaves with a .720 win percentage. And while his retirement wasn't a complete surprise,
it was time for a change, but there's always that shock factor when somebody that has coached you for so long is gone.
And Dave and his wife are huge BYU fans. And while we won't see him on the sidelines coaching anymore, they said we can be sure to catch them in the stands cheering on their Cougars. Back to you.
This was a big week for BYU basketball as star forward Yoli Childs announced he plans on foregoing his senior season to declare for the NBA draft. Yoli, who led the Cougars in both scoring and rebounding last season, is the third Cougar to leave the program early in the past 3 years, following in the footsteps of Elijah Bryant last season and Eric Mika from the year before.
BYU women's basketball fell to Stanford 72-63 in the second round of the NCAA tournament on Monday night. Shelley Gonzalez led BYU with a career-best 32 points. The Cougars made it to the second round of the tournament after a 73-64 win over Auburn. This was Coach Jeff Judkins' 9th appearance in the Big Dance with his team.
The first games of the Sweet 16 were yesterday, and they did not disappoint. Purdue came back at the end of regulation to send the game into overtime and eventually secured the win over Tennessee. Number 1 seeded Virginia snuck past Oregon 53-49. Gonzaga beat Florida State by 14, while Texas Tech made a strong case for themselves as they beat Michigan 63-44. The other Sweet 16 games will happen tonight with the overall number 1 seeded team Duke taking on Virginia Tech.
With less than a month before the NFL draft, former college players are trying to shore up their resumes through pro days. We now go live to Nathan Israelson, who is at BYU's Pro Day.
When Pro Day just ended right behind me, BYU Cougars, including Corbin Kaufusi, looked to impress NFL scouts one last time.
I think it definitely has a big effect. I wasn't able to do the combine, and it's like I'm coming out after these injuries, and depending on what I can do with Pro Day, that's kind of a big showing time. I think a lot of teams might have forgotten that I existed. They're like, oh, that dude, isn't he still in the hospital healing up or something? So Pro Day will be big for me.
Corbin had off-season surgery on his tricep, pinky, and ankle, and was forced to miss the NFL Combine, but is recovering well.
No, I feel great. I wouldn't say stronger than ever, because now I'm in the process of getting my strength back. It's like, okay, now you can actually lift completely, everything can go well, but now it's, oh, you gotta retrain the muscles, you know, years of training, you gotta get back into that mode.
Pro Day is the exact same as the Combine, just on a smaller scale with tests like bench press, vertical jump, broad jump, the 40-yard dash, and shuttle runs. But the training is something that Corbin is quite used to.
I think everything at BYU that they do is for that next step. You know, there's the steps between high school, college, and then onto the pros if you want to do that. And BYU does a great job of segueing that.
But amid all the training and advice, the biggest lifeline for Corbin is his older brother, Bronson.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He's kind of like my life coach, you know. He's walked the path, and so we talk every day. He basically trains me every day, does everything with me every day. And so he's the greatest help I could have asked for.
I talked with Corbin after his performance here at Pro Day. He didn't participate in everything, but what he did participate in, he felt very good about. Reporting live from Pro Day, I'm Nathan Israelson.
The BYU football program added some experience at running back with the addition of grad transfer Emmanuel Asupa this week. Asupa played in 29 games over 3 seasons with Rice University, totaling 778 yards and 6 touchdowns. The running back will be eligible to play for the Cougars this season.
Over 5,000 Cougar fans got their first look at the 2019 team last weekend at the BYU spring practice and scrimmage. Multiple quarterbacks earned reps during the scrimmage as projected starter Zach Wilson was sidelined with a shoulder injury. Freshman quarterback Jaron Hall led the Cougar offense to 4 touchdowns on 4 drives, completing 12 of 14 passes for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns while also rushing 5 times for 59 yards. The Cougars will open the 2019 season on August 29th with a home game against Utah.
Spurs legend Manu Ginobili has his jersey retired.
So thankful. I would like to go shake each one of your hands and give you a hug. I'm just beyond appreciative.
Hear what he had to say about this emotional moment.
Dual athlete Jaron Hall continues to make big plays for BYU baseball. Find out what he did last night versus St. Mary's.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
New England Patriots coach Greg Schiano has stepped down from his coaching role with the team only 2 months after joining the Patriots. Although never officially announced by the team, Schiano was understood to be working with the defense as a replacement for Brian Flores, who left for the Miami Dolphins at the end of last season. Schiano left stating that he needed to spend more time with his faith and family.
The Salt Lake Stallions continue through the AAF season looking to end it on a high note. The Stallions fell to 2-5 on Saturday against the San Antonio Commanders with the final score of 19-15. With 3 games remaining, the Stallions are doing their best to break even. Their next game is versus the San Diego Fleet tomorrow at 8 p.m. at Rice-Eccles Stadium. The last time the Stallions and Fleet met up, the Stallions lost by a heartbreaking 2 points.
The San Antonio Spurs retired the number 20 jersey of legend Manu Ginobili last night.
So thankful. I would like to go shake each one of your hands and give you a hug. I'm just beyond appreciative.
The 6'6" guard won 4 championships over a career spanning 16 years in the NBA, and all with the Spurs. His jersey was retired right next to former teammate Tim Duncan's, who played with Ginobili for 14 years.
The Los Angeles Dodgers hit a new record of 8 home runs in last night's opening day game against the Arizona Diamondbacks in a 12-5 victory. The 8 home runs in a single game set a new record for the most homers on opening day and set a new Major League Baseball record for the most players with a hit on opening day.
And Seager hits a towering drive to right center field. The 3rd home run of the inning is off the bat of Corey Seager.
Enrique Hernandez and Jock Peterson both homered twice, with Corey Seager, Austin Barnes, Max Muncy, and Cody Bellinger adding a hit to the records. The Diamondbacks will face the Dodgers again today at 9:10 p.m. on the Dodgers' home turf, looking for a chance at redemption.
BYU baseball has won their last 6 games. Find out about their most recent win from last night.
A BYU women's volleyball player is named to the U.S. Women's Collegiate National Team for the World University Games. Find out who made the team next.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time. Thanks.
These are cool. Did you, what did you...
What?
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it. Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
BYU baseball scored a 10-6 win over St. Mary's last night, and dual threat Jaron Hall stunned the crowd again with an impressive center field catch.
That ball is on a line to center field. Hall makes the catch into the wall.
BYU is hoping to keep their 6-game winning streak tonight as they face off again against St. Mary's at 6 p.m. at Miller Park.
To represent your country is an honor. Heather and Kennedy from the Cougars get to do just that. Reporter Ben Winters caught up with the players and coach. Ben, how are Heather and Kennedy feeling about this big achievement?
From the Fieldhouse in Provo to Japan and Italy, these Cougar players are ecstatic to represent their school and country. Women's volleyball coach Heather Olmstead and sophomore middle blocker Heather Knighting will represent the United States on the collegiate national team in Japan.
Anytime you get to spend more time with the girls on your team is special, and so the opportunity to go with Heather to Japan and to spend time together and bond and experience that culture is, I think those are things we'll be able to take with us the rest of our life.
Olmstead and Knighting will join 12 other top collegiate athletes selected from around the nation. Knighting was the 2018 AVCA National Freshman of the Year, third-team All-American, first-team All-Region, and first-team All-WCC honoree.
I'm so grateful to be in such a good program here at BYU to let me have those experiences, and so thankful for USA for recognizing my talent.
She ranked number 10 in the nation in blocks per set, 1.5, 18th in total blocks, 159, and 23rd in hitting percentage, .380. They will experience a unique tour playing against one of the best collegiate volleyball teams Japan has to offer, Nippon Sports Science University, and as well competing against the top teams in Japan.
Be able to wear the USA jersey and represent the country, it's just like such a great opportunity, and I'm just really excited.
Eschenberg, middle blocker, was named an AVCA All-American and All-Region honoree. She ranked 31st in the nation in blocks per set with 1.3, adding 205 kills and a .345 hitting percentage. Olmstead, her fourth season as a head coach for the Cougars, has a current record of 118 and 13. She holds the highest winning percentage of any women's volleyball coach in Division I history. Olmstead and Knighting will head out to Japan from May 19th to the 30th, while Eschenberg will be in Italy from July 4th to the 13th. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ben. BYU men's volleyball fall in the men's rankings to 10th this past week after 3 straight losses. The losses came at the hands of McKendree, who beat the Cougars 3-1 and a sweep by number 2 Hawaii, both at the BYU Invitational. Last night, the Cougars faced Concordia, who sit at the bottom of the MPSF, BYU losing 3-2 in a 5-setter despite a career-high 31 kills from Gabby Garcia Fernandez. BYU rounds out the regular season this upcoming week with 2 remaining games. The first is against number 8 USC tomorrow, and then Grand Canyon on Thursday, both games on the road. After hosting the conference championship meet last week, the BYU gymnastics team finds themselves heading towards the postseason. Sportsline reporter Caleb Lemming is here to tell us how their season has gotten to this point. Caleb, how's the team doing this year?
If you guys haven't heard about the BYU gymnastics team, you need to. They're one of the best BYU has here on campus.
Also entering the competition is
The BYU gymnastics team qualified for their 10th straight NCAA regional tournament, earning a bid in the Baton Rouge region hosted by LSU. The meet will take place in the afternoon session on Friday, April 5th at 1 p.m.
BYU's athletics are known for greatness, and it's great to see that come from maybe a side that they didn't expect going into the year.
The other teams included in the session are Utah, Minnesota, and Arkansas. BYU will be one of 36 teams to compete at one of the 4 regional meets. The team began the season finishing in last place in 2 of their first 4 meets, but were able to find their way and have a successful season.
See that they can overcome just little mistakes, and all this practice that they put in does have an impact, so being able to see the highs and lows.
BYU is currently ranked 17th in the nation and have won 6 total meets this year. The success of the team has helped BYU continue a reputation for their overall success of their smaller Olympic sports.
It just adds another, great sport that BYU has, and it puts BYU on the map.
Last week, BYU hosted their conference championship meet and placed 3rd overall. Even though it may be a smaller sport on campus, the gymnastics team is one of the most talented and consistent that BYU has.
If we can understand other sports, it's interesting just to know why they do what they do, how they do it, and still see just their progress. So it's enjoyable for everybody. I'd recommend it to anybody to just go on a meet and just be impressed for an hour and a half, and then you may want to come back again. So it could be worth it.
The Cougars are trying for their 2nd consecutive appearance at the national tournament. Last year, after placing 4th in the regional tournament, they were able to qualify. We'll see if they can do it again on April 5th. Back to you guys.
The Suns reignited some Jimmer mania on Monday as he returned to the NBA with their game against the Jazz. Fredette has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Suns, and faithfully, his second game was here in Utah. He played 14 minutes, scoring 6 points and getting 1 rebound, steal, and assist. Though his performance was less than electric, the crowd cheering for him certainly was. The Jazz defeated the Suns 125-92.
Speaking of the Jazz, they've been playing some sweet music on the court lately. The Jazz beat the Bulls on Saturday, the Suns on Monday, and the Lakers on Wednesday. They have also clinched a playoff spot for this season, but with 7 games remaining, they could end up anywhere from 3rd to 8th. The Jazz look to continue their streak against the Wizards tonight at 7 at the Vivint Smart Home Arena.
It was a great day for hockey yesterday. Let's get to the highlights. The Blue Jackets blew out the Canadiens 6-2, and the Panthers crushed the Senators 5-2. 2 games ended in shootouts, with the Stars triumphing over the Oilers and the Canucks beating the Kings 3-2. The Red Wings also secured a dramatic win over the Sabres 5-4 in overtime.
Coming up next, we've got the top plays, including what had the Lakers bench so overwhelmed.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. How does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen. Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
It's that time where we look at the top sports play of the week. Coming at number 3, we've got March Madness. Gonzaga had a breakaway lead by Zach Norvell Jr., but his slam dunk was denied by its incredible block by Florida State's Trent Forrest. The Zags would still go on to win, though, 72-58.
He made it into last week's top plays, and Jaron Hall continues to do work for the BYU baseball team. Hall leapt to make this catch at the wall in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as the Cougars went on to win 10-6 against the Gales. The second game of the series will be played tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
Coming in at number 1 for our top play of the week is Lance Stevenson. The Los Angeles Lakers guard had this ridiculous step over, causing Wizards forward Jeff Green to fall backwards before Stevenson banked the 2-point shot. The Lakers bench had quite the reaction.
It's time for this week's matchups. We're still in the Sweet 16 with the March Madness.
Yes, we
First,
are.
let's talk about Duke versus Virginia Tech tonight. I'm going with Duke. I am going all the way, so of course I'm going with Duke.
I know, I am torn on this game because I think Duke, I don't know, I want them to go all the way. I really want Zion to succeed, but we can't forget that Virginia Tech beat Duke this year. And so that's a toss-up, but then Virginia Tech finished 5th in the ACC.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
I don't know. Okay. LSU versus Michigan State. I'm going to say Michigan State. I mean, they have Nick Ward. They're basically tied. I mean, they're so close with Purdue in the conference play. So I'm going with Michigan State.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with Michigan State on this as well. I think they're probably just be outcoached. They have Tom Izzo there. And they're in a better basketball conference. They were able to be tested more during the season. So we'll see about that.
Yeah. Also, there's North Carolina versus Auburn. Now, I'm going to vouch for our reporter, Nathan Israelson. He wants Auburn to go really far, so I'm going to say Auburn.
Okay. You know, I think North Carolina will take this game. Luke Maine averages a double-double for North Carolina. They have a great coach. Came first in the ACC. So I'm rooting for North Carolina.
I really like North Carolina, but I don't know. I'll take a chance.
It'll
I'll
be a
say
good
Auburn.
game.
Yeah. Okay, this last game, I didn't have these two teams going very far, so it's not that important to me, but it's Houston versus Kentucky. I'm just going to say Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm going to go with Kentucky tonight, but I'm a little nervous for Kentucky. They had a few silly losses during the season. They got destroyed by Duke, but I think Kentucky has enough experience in the tournament to go far. So
yeah. Speaking of all this, how's your bracket doing?
It's destroyed.
Yep.
But I think Gonzaga is gonna win it all. Just from judging them in their games, they're doing pretty well.
I mean, they beat Florida State. I really wanted the Florida State to win.
It's been fun. All right, here are some BYU sports reminders for the week. Men's swimming and diving continue their NCAA championship competition today and tomorrow. Men's and women's track and field is also in the middle of competition, with the Texas relays continuing today and tomorrow. BYU baseball continues the series against St. Mary's with games tonight at 6 and tomorrow at 1. And men's volleyball travels to number 8 USC on Saturday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time.
That's Sportsline for Friday, March 29th.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day and go Cougars.